Morning, Hayden.
Morning, mate.
You know when you pound Aussies trades?
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, on the pound Aussie trade,
Mm-hmm.
when you post, what strategy are you using there?
Did I not respond?
No.
So not too, like, it's more just my fundamentals. So fundamentally long on it was just waiting for this. I just had to wait for these interest rates. And I thought they were going to price it in earlier, but they didn't. So price came down to, hey Brendan, price came down to support area. Entered the trade. Didn't worry too much about stop loss. Gave it plenty of room just in case it dipped quite a bit. Just taking advantages of the just the long-term trend. Every time we've had like these sort of deep pullbacks, every now and then we've poked through it. Okay, this one here was on the back of this here was the surprise hike. Yeah, this was the surprise hike not surprise hike, but when they were pricing in a hold at the interest rate meeting and they hiked. Price retraced through these clean candles, pushed down again, and then we got very high CPI reading out of pound, and they were talking about 0.5% instead of 0.25% hike, and then we just seen it rise and rise and rise, recover that whole drop, and then it got to the next meeting. Then this one here was when RBA held, and prices really just started rocketing. So it was more just to do with that. Wasn't really too concerned. Still price action. Still not like. I did get into some trades thinking that it was going to bounce off of here. So it took me a few little starts to get into it. That one there was I really thought this was the time that it was going to go flying. So I didn't take as much off the table. I thought I really just held it. Then again, bought there again, took 70 pips. No, sorry, this one here took quite a bit off the table. Then this one here, last week, I bought and basically took nothing off the table, and then only took a tiny bit off at 70 pips, and then the price came back down. And then yesterday, I entered on this candle, but pretty much the same price action still present, right? We had a little doji liquidity candle telling us that is a support structure over to the left. Little doji, little sweep of it. My entry was more or less about here, 1.9489. 1.949 was my entry, and it was purely that I saw price was there. I'm like, yep, that looks good. I just bought and wasn't really waiting to, or it's not like what we do here where we just look for price action, like specific price action, and do zone and update the zones every day. On these swing trades, it's more just fundamentally, I've done my research fundamentally, and then I wasn't too worried about where price was. It was just under 1.95. That's a good price. That's a good price given the fundamentals. And ideal entry would have been anticipation entry. But for swing entries, I'm not too worried about that kind of price action. It's more just ordering your trades, your pairs. So we have, you'd have all your pairs in a list, like currency strength. And given when one piece of news comes out, we're just going to see, like at the moment, AUD would be here. pound would be more or less up this end. And then New Zealand, because of Aussie being here, New Zealand's going to be up towards this end. Because pound's here, Euro's going to be up towards this end. And then you're going to have the others. There's one more. There's 8 majors. Then you'll order those, and then I'll just try to get into a swing trade based on where, after a period of a pullback, when do I expect this pullback? Because this will be currency strength. AUD would have been strong at this point, but I don't expect that to last. So once it starts to get down to these bottom areas, it's going to roll over eventually. But swing trades, I'm prepared just to hold it for days and days and days. When you say high CPI for pound, that leads to AUD weakening. No. That leads to pound strengthening. Yeah, AUD would be other factors. So in this case, why AUD had a double whammy today. So kind of annoyed because I would have liked to have loaded up a lot more onto this one, because it's just still the existing trade. I didn't really see any opportunity to get in today. I thought it might pull back one more time and then go up, but the hour candles have just gone. Like the only time I did a little pullback was in that first hour, and I lost track of time last night. And the first hour was it's just high spreads, so I wasn't doing anything for that first whole hour, and then it was just getting late. So I just thought, I'll put another pending buy limit to see if I can get spiked into it by the news. But nothing triggered. It just went up and up and up and up because this was Chinese news came out. So Chinese being the one of the major, Australia's been one of the major benefactors from China growing, but now China's slowing. So it just it got hit hard by that Chinese PMI news, which has almost dipped into retractionary, and then the RBA news that came out here. Yeah, Aussie would stay the same, but pound would strengthen. But they would be like a little shuffle, like little reordering of the currency strengths on a day-to-day basis as well. All right, this is rocketing, man. I'm done for the week, nearly. No, I'm not really. I'll still trade this. All right, so morning, Sarah. Morning, Maron. Oh man, I was gonna get up early this morning, but we had a exhaust fan issue thing. Just going all day. I was like, man, why is this thing never going to turn off? I was like, we really got that much humidity in the house? Then I thought it would turn off, and then a partner woke me up middle of the night concerned because it's still going. I feel like it'd been going for a whole day. So trying to, like, at 4 a.m, trying to read the fuse box to work out where the power point was, and then it was right above me. But oh man, disrupted the sleep. So I was thinking, you guys don't want to look at me today. I'll put it on anyways. But what happened?
Oh fuck.
What was that? What was I gonna do? What was it gonna do? Oh yeah, I posted yesterday into the Discord. I heard an interview with this Jared Tendler. I don't know, a lot of you guys are familiar with him as a trading psychologist or sports psychologist, and he was talking about the comparisons between trading and athletics, like high-end sports, and there's so much crossover, and I've known it for a long time. But then he said something relevant, and what we've been doing is I've been getting up, trying to get up around 7, a little bit before, then get my partner sorted, her breakfast. This morning I couldn't do that, but I have coffee. Oh no, I get a coffee. I'll get some breakfast. I'll read the news very quickly, and then I start these streams around 7:40. Start doing analysis, German 40, and then take the trade. But I felt recently I've been a bit rushed, and I think what's happening is he was saying, you know, probably not doing much of a warm up as I should be doing, and then just jumping into it, expected to perform straight away. So the idea is to get up earlier. Today I had an alarm set and I got up at 4:30 to fix something. But it put me in a very grumpy mood. All right, so yesterday's trade, man. This was annoying. Couldn't get into it. Well, I got into it a couple times, and then I couldn't get I was hoping, because after sitting through all of this at 10:30, I thought what would happen is the same as Thursday. We'll just do one more sweep up and then drop. So I had an alert set here for that idea, and it never ever triggered the alert. And I saw it just dropping, and it just dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped well over 100 pips, nearly 200 pips. So that hurt, because that was the move. That was the move from the 50% of this 3-hour liquidity candle. This was the point of interest. Just had to wait for your setup. Now we're just diving, absolutely diving. So we're getting down to these areas. I've already pre-planned some of these. We're going to go all the way down to the bottom. News came out. Germany being the loser out of the whole Eurozone at the moment. If it wasn't for Germany, pound would be the loser.
Can you explain that about the pound being second worst? Because I just thought you showed us a chart which showed the pound being incredibly strong against the Aussie. Is that just that pair, but in other respects it's not doing so well?
Pound, the currency is doing well. Pound, UK, the economy, out of the Eurozone,
yep,
they're not doing very well. So in times when the economy is not doing well, it's struggling, and because of the policy that we're in, with interest rates being so high, inflation being so high, cost of living being so high, then what's happening is it's getting harder and harder to get these pounds. So that makes them more valuable in a currency point of view. Like if you want to get a loan in China, they'll happily give you one. But pound is more restrictive, much more expensive. So just from a supply demand point of view, it's pound's a lot stronger. Don't confuse strength in the pound with economy doing well. How's Emmenbot going? I haven't had much of a chance to think properly at night time to put them on. So I was trying to do a bit more swing style with her as well, but I had the last, I think, 4 over the last 2 weeks didn't work out, which is annoying because there was a period where I think the majority of them, if I let it go through, they would have all worked out. It's just one of those things. No, just still on the 30-minute, just picking a deeper EMA. I haven't, just with this move and everything, I just haven't had as much time. So looking forward to getting that done. It's almost done. I've got 7 things on my to-do list right now for the next week to make sure that everything's ready before the baby's due. Yeah. All right. So sorry, I've just been gathering my thoughts. So daily been so far down already. I'm not too keen on selling this so low. I feel like there's a missed opportunity. Asian's down, Euro's down. Euro was so small before. Can we see? I think it's getting pulled down. So China is also one of Germany's biggest trading partners outside of the Eurozone. I think it is the biggest. So that's getting pulled. That's pulling down these. Like they just buy so much of this Europe, German stuff. So I wonder if we can take a breakout for 30 pips. Hey Tom. I'm not too keen to buy to sell. I'll be keen probably to sell. So we are breaking through this zone. We do have a little bit of a liquidity pool right here because this is a little bit of a structure, a little bit of an order block. And that order block happened in the New York session, so it's nothing to sneeze at. Does someone say something?
Sorry, Hayden, I just dropped in and just saw there's a pretty big crowd on tonight.
Oh, yeah. All good. No. Don't apologize for ever.
We're waiting for you. Welcoming committee.
Thank you, David.
So yeah, we've got a few little points of interest here. I think that was a doji. I think that's what it was. No, it was no wick candle, just a volume candle.
Oop, price is already flying.
Oh my god. What's that? Oh, is that? Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
So I thought we could have got a 30 pip on the breakout. That's what I said. Could have got a very quick 30. So this candle itself was 30, yeah. There you go. That was the opening minute, 30 pips. Yeah, that would have been tasty, just taking it. Yeah, given the amount of pressure that was there, it made sense for just following this candle to just do a quick a quick drop. Now it's holding at this point of interest for now. So I'm just gonna have to check what it's gonna do. Are you gonna break through here and pop down to the next one?
What was that point of interest? Out of curiosity.
Both of these were the
Doji low,
same.
or-
Nah, both of these were just basically like no wick candles. Well, had a like little tiny bottom wick on it. But New York Open 30-minute candles with very small bottom wick, just push straight up.
Yep.
From this point and this point. So you can see how it just hesitated here for a bit, but there's so much weight coming down. Then you've got monthly level, these two monthly levels. So if we can push down, how much we got now? Is this 50? 39. 50 is going to be at the monthly. Don't want to enter any cells here. Sorry, I wanted to have entered cells, but I don't want to enter cells here. That's a very late entry. Has anyone taken those cells from the breakout? Sarah, you might have taken the cell. You missed it? So did I. I actually just hesitated and lost track of the time. Oh, first day in. Well, the weather's looking good for you here. Isn't it glorious? So nice. Okay, this monthly level's holding. Brought it back with you. Sure did. You were just investigating the short option when it smashed. Yeah, instant. This is the times you can take those breakouts. Now the monthly level's holding. It's gonna go all the way down. Oh, you didn't take us already at S1. Monthly levels held up perfectly so far. Beautiful little touches from this line. See that? Then we've got a lower one as well. I mean, if it regroups again and gives a second push down without any significant pullback, I would look to probably, well, we've got this point of interest here. Maybe we'll buy it for a counter trend 25-30 pip scalp. Hey Akshay, how are you? What's this? 15732.
Yeah, so this whole area, you can say the 4-hour HCS area also. So this is the last area of liquidity, you can say, the where price dipped recently now.
Is that 2-hour wick just here? Right
Yeah,
there.
2 hour. Yeah. Even if you go to the 4-hour.
Yeah,
So
same one.
4-hour FU candle.
Yeah.
Then if you go on this 4-hour FU on the 5-minute, you will see that area.
That's
where
what this
price
is.
Yeah.
Nice one.
So this was HCS.
Yeah.
We have an imbalance here, but let's see if price already form HCS with this, then we will again start moving to the upside. I took the entry, I put my stop loss here. Let's see it.
Cowboy entry.
Yeah.
These are the times that you can do that for sure. Quick move down, and then you're looking for a quick move up. Wicks are not overlapping. Which part of the wick? You mean this part, Marin? Oh, yeah, okay. You're looking at these two. You're saying that this this wick isn't touching this wick. Yeah. I mean, that's only a preference thing, but as long as the candle has been in some area of this candle as well, but I do much prefer if the wick is lower into the candle, but at least the candles are touching, so it's not like I wouldn't pair this one with, say, this one. I know that's an extreme example.
Yeah, if you investigate this area, like it started with the FU candle also. This FU candle, 4-hour FU candle.
Yeah.
Started with the FU candle, then we got a doji, then this candle took out that doji, retested to that FU candle. Then here again, here. So this was a first manipulation, second manipulation, it negated the previous manipulation. And this candle came all the way to the retest that FU candle to create HCS here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it depends now. So if this 4-hour is turning bullish, then we can say that we want to continue pushing upside. Right now, I'm just took a small scalp and hold the remaining position to see if price can hold that position or not.
I took a sell against you when I wicked back up, but I'm going to, once we do the wick fill, I'm going to close it. Yeah, I'm going to close. I just left a runner on that one. I closed 75% of that. I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with the entry. My entry was up. Oh, come on. No. For actually, go up now.
No. I already secure position, so I don't have to worry about it.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. So I've secured most of it now as well, so who cares now what happens?
Yeah, I closed some partial around 25 pips. Now the stop loss is not that much big for me. Even he hit my stop loss, I'm still gonna be positive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with the momentum pushed down, tapped that little zone, came back up. I like how the cowboy entry can work from there because it's a beautiful zone, untested for a long time, monthly level even, and that lined up perfectly with your red line that you had, 15,712. Price wicked up, came up again as it was pushing up, as it was flipping. That's where I entered. And then that's 30 pips now, so. I'll pop that in the Discord. Continuation entry. Had to do a little refresh when I did that video last night for everyone. All right. So that entry is closed. Now. It was like that. Makes sense though, hey. The price wicked down, left a wick to fill, momentum, price wicked up, flip bearish, entered. Because it's a late entry. 30 pips just took it. Now still got pound Aussie running just to see where it goes to now, but I've closed pretty much everything. My target was it was going to be 1.972, but then as I saw it this morning and it was powering up, I've left it, I've moved this take profit up to 1.98, but I closed like every single bit I could. There's 0.01 left now because I want to see this one retest. I just want to see how far it goes. Just left, stops even, it's still a negative. I just haven't touched it at all. But a maximized amount. I'm pretty much flat now for I've only got 0.01 open of pound Aussie. Let's plan another trade for German. So I'm gonna wait for this. This has come up all the way. So I didn't call it again. Sorry, because hey Adam, how are you? Because I wasn't getting in at the best position myself, and by the time I actually say it, people are going to get in an even worse position. So it's better for me not to say that. If that makes sense. The zones are here. The zones are here, but I don't want people to take shit positions because I tell you and it's moving and then you get a bad position and then it's even worse for you. We could still do the same thing now. Yeah, we can still do the same. This is the exact same idea on the 5 minute, how left a wick, came back up, wait for a top wick, close bearish, and then look for wick fill. 15 minute, close bearish with a wick and not making a top wick yet. So I can still make a top wick here. What I don't want to see, well, this is a price action thing now as well, is that at some stage we're going to find our way back to here. 100%. At some stage. Because we've opened with no top wick. London's just straight sold. So there's so much pressure up here that at some stage we're not going to get, I doubt we get through the day without creating a new high for the London session. Or if we just do keep pushing down in this London Open, when New York comes in play, they won't leave this untouched. So this becomes a target. The easier this target is to get is how much further we drop without testing it, because then we've got much more room to come up to test that target. Does that make sense? But it doesn't mean we want to buy here with so much selling pressure right now. But this will be on my radar today at some stage. And if we can take out that 4-hour wick, I believe we'd probably get a pretty decent little reaction from these areas for New York. So I'll leave them loaded up and running. See how we created that bit of a top wick and then flip bearish again. Now if we break this top wick again, we're going up. But if we can leave that and that top wick being done, then we can push down. Just be mindful of the time. Time is 8:17. So we're only 2 minutes into this 15-minute candle, but it looks like it's pushed down made a top wick, flipped bearish again, and then starting to push down. So the exact same play as what happened on the 5 minute just before. I was going to do a video last night to break that down, but I'm not going to do it now. Alrighty. Guys, girls, where has anyone pulled the trigger themselves on anything here? You guys
I went short.
Oh yeah, Dave, you went short?
Yep, I was going to push down a bit more.
Where did you enter from?
Just a little bit ago, last bar, top of this bar about current bar.
Top of current bar?
Yeah, about there, yeah.
Were you waiting for the wick to be created?
Yeah, and the movement down, I thought it was pushing down more on the 1 minute chart, so
Yeah. No, this is good. I just want to go through everyone's ideas. So this was the open of this 15-minute candle, this red one. So push down. Oh, look what it did. Price pushed down here, and it left. As we know, if you got a bearish candle with no top wick, it's a lot of volume. So price will often come back and pick up leftover orders. So price.
I went in the bottom of that red one, just right of the blue one. Blue one, right, next bar along, I went in on that one. Next bar. Yeah.
Yeah, good. So this came up, gathered liquidity from this no wick candle. First minute of the 15-minute pushed down. Second minute of the 15 created the top wick. Third minute dropped. Then we've got no volume the last 1 minutes. Very good. Let's hope it just continues down. But that's still, what's your pippage that you're looking for? Because it moved about 25 pips. What are your targets in mind when you take trades?
I just did a 1-to-1 on that and see where it's going. So I was going to monitor it and move it. If it looked like it was going down quickly and substantially, I would have moved the take profit down.
Marin had a quick buy scalp from the daily volume imbalance. That's what I was trying to think of, the V volume imbalance. 694 back up to 726. Oh, so you did something like Akshays. Same, more or less same areas. Oh no, actually I was here. So you took it from down a little bit lower. Yeah, I mean, it's nice when you have these like 30 pip moves, because able to take a reaction from here, 30 pips, push down 30 pips, reaction up 30 pips, down here went 20-ish, 25 pips. Are you aware that Lagarde is speaking at the moment? Is she? See, this is the thing, I didn't do my warm-up properly. I've just, it's not even on here. Geez, German news later on as well. ECB's President Lagarde speaking. Yeah, Forex Factory's been missing a lot lately. If I was meant to have done my proper warm-up, I have to liken that to like a little calf twinge, little hammy twinge right there. So what's she saying? Is there any headlines? Lagarde. ECB speech. No, it's the 5th right now. We see Hayden's in the
Clear
cell.
from state practice.
Sell.
And their assets. These are two different kinds of immunity. Immunity from jurisdiction to adjudicate. That is, you simply cannot sue the Russian central bank in courts in the United States. That's immunity from jurisdiction to adjudicate. There is a distinct immunity, which is immunity from measures of constraint or execution, meaning that you cannot use any form of judicial process to attach or seize central bank assets located in the foreign state. Those are two, as I said, distinct kinds of immunity, but both of them are immunity from some form of judicial process, and I won't move.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that'll have much of an effect today. They're not going to shed light on monetary policy. Just about the legal things, so that might not be changes right now. This is interesting though. 855 German composite PMI. So that could be something to look out for. Looks like the last 3-minute time frames fall into a bit of a range, making its way back up to this London Open. Let's see.
Hayden, Hayden knows. Keeping an eye on the 1 hour no wick candle to the left from 28th.
On German?
Yeah, so in that zone where it's yeah, there we go. That I was looking at keeping an eye on that to see if it takes out that no wick.
Yeah.
Good
idea.
But if you look on the 5-minute, it looks like there's some HCS going on. Does that mean it probably won't take out that no wick now?
This is the wick.
Yeah.
It's inside. You mean you took out this one?
No, I'm the one you were pointing at, the no wick there. I thought it would take that out in this current price action. So the movement, the current movement, I thought it would take that, but it hasn't. And the 5-minute is now showing, in the current price action, is showing HCS.
Oh, 5 minutes from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
So does that suggest it probably isn't going to take that out?
Yeah, probably.
Take it out? Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. This is looking.
Okay.
This is looking like the buying taking place. Definitely for a push up.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if like it might not work, like this might be price pushing back up to get a better sell point, and then what it does is this will create its own little zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we can look to say if we see then price do something like this and then drop from there. So that could be one thing that this is doing. I would say how much has dropped in one go is that it's probably an idea that it's going to push up to take that out.
Right. Yeah.
But this is still lower time frame than the weight. But it's just we've come down quite a lot since yesterday without really any meaningful pullback. But I expect this to be a bit more of a reaction because they could have, like it easily could have set up and had a longer wick. This wick could have been a bit longer, and then this one could have been like a little bit shorter. And if it was looking something like that, then I'd say it's looking like continuation to the downside.
Yeah.
But the fact that this has got two long wicks tapping into these points of interest, I would say more often than not, resistance will break and will push up. Good spotting. Because now we're getting to the 30-minute candle as well. So same deal is that what happened on the 5-minute here, price pushed down, no top wick. They had a wick to fill. Price pushed up, created the high, and then pushed down, did that wick fill. 15-minute also, once this one candle closed, so it's almost identical to the 5-minute. Then price pushed down, wicked up, created the top wick, pushed down, did it almost 15-minute total wick fill. Now the 15 minutes is closing as a doji. So if we push down and took out the low, there's probably a good chance we're going to retrace, take out the high. But now the 30-minute is closed. So 30-minute looks the same as the 15-minute and the 5-minute did. So it's likely it pushes down a little bit. Then we've got to create that top wick. And then we can push down and fill this wick. Usually, not to say it always happens, but usually that's the scenario. 1 hour is still looking, hella bearish.
Yeah.
So if this candle closes bearish, I wouldn't be surprised if we even see a candle that at some stage goes all the way up, takes out that top wick, and then starts pushing down. Oh, sorry, creates a top wick and then starts pushing down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
from when I used to just trail stops, I had a really simple. Once I was in a trade on the 1 hour or 4 hour even, I would just bring my stop loss down behind every closed candle. And what would often happen is the one that had no wick would get taken out and then it would drop. So then I started only trailing it behind candles with top wicks.
Yeah.
Because these ones usually, I would say, okay, it probably will come up and then do that. Alan just entered on that 5-minute. So what would make this nicer as well is to see if we had a lower time frame HCS thing in the top wicks as well, kind of like a trend reversal pattern. So we don't really, if this wick was higher, we could almost use this as a zone to say, unless we close below it, we could just, we could go down, up, down, up, down, up, and then do something like that. This could be a divergence pattern, head and shoulders, you name it. But that's if that top wick was a little bit longer. On the 1 minute, yeah, even the 1 minutes don't really show it. What about 2 minutes?
Kind of depends how these next few candles form. If they form bullish, then we've got that.
Yeah, if they go bullish, it'll sort of give it that confirmation. But I do like it. I do like when it's been pushing down like this into a zone, and I see like rejection wicks from the top side that eventually we close above it, because then this gives me a fairly accurate zone that, unless it's almost a line in the sand, unless we close underneath here, I would hold on to a bullish. I'd be a bit more like bullish to do a deeper retracement.
Yeah, I like the top of your black box that you just drew there.
This one here.
That area there is where I usually keep an eye on for the next bounce.
Yeah, and if this had
basically
if it had a longer wick above the blue candle, I think it would hold more information.
That last bullish candle, if it closed a little bit higher, would have been nicer too.
Like more on the 50%, above the 50% of this candle, or this one.
Even just above the last swing. Just a little bit low. Yeah, I've put my trade just on the German channel.
Oh, nice one. Let's have a little peekaboo at that. Aha, Debbie. 2-year-old granddaughter. Yeah, that's a Danny move right there. You're giving some really nice information in your charts. Keep it up. It's really good. Good to see. Asian low bought. Holy man! You seriously ping-ponged it.
So essentially, each of those is just another attempt at the same trade. I was aiming for the 16,700 level, which is why I sold down to that level. Anticipating a reaction. We did have a higher. I gave it a chance to get up there. I secured some profits as it filled that first clean push up, anticipating a potential continuation down. It formed a higher support. I waited for the support to form, and then I took it long, anticipating it to go a little higher. My runner got stopped out, but that was I said I'll let it run now and see where the next support forms before I enter anything else.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do in my list of things to do now is actually, for German, is to look a little bit more into the round numbers even. So when I'm picking a level, like I'm doing all the stuff like a monthly levels and all that, but I'm also thinking about, I want to refresh myself on the more rounder numbers as potential targets, because we saw how many times 16,000 held. I know that's an easy round number. There's 16,000 up here. Yeah, up here. Friday last week.
That 15,700, it was very, very close to a monthly level I had marked out, and the S2 for the day. So I was anticipating a reaction at that point. Not necessarily reversal, and we definitely haven't had a reversal yet, but at least a reaction. And I can't remember how many pips I got each time, but I can show you privately later, but I'm not going to post it. But yeah, if you wanted to, you can measure it off the drawing that I just put on there.
Yeah, I'll do that after. So
it was about 30 pips each time, give or take.
Yeah, and that's why I like when I'm looking at ranges. 50 pips, I'm generally happy. But then if I see a 100 pip range, 50 pips. If I see a 40 pip range, you should at least get 20 pips if your entry's not too bad. All right, I think it's time for a coffee.
Finger on the trigger then.
Long black if you make me.
Long black? Yeah, I'll send on across. Might be a little bit. I'll give it room temperature. How's that?
Mate, I'm happy with a cold brew.
The distance is tough to keep it cold or hot.
Tell you what, I'll make my own while you're doing yours.
So yeah, let's just see what this does. I'll be back and make a quick coffee.
Yeah, looking good for the upside. Just this 5 minute has to close strong one, so we can again start pushing upside. Our true stop loss is still gonna be below here. So until unless price breaking that thing, we don't have to worry about any kind of sell opportunity. Yeah, probably triple HCS. Let's see if this candle can able to close bullish or not. If this able to close bullish one, multiple HCS from bottom side. So probably we will start pushing into this area, this liquidity area.
Yeah, it's the first decent HCS on 1 minute as well.
Yeah, 1 minute it says also for me.
Yeah.
Another one. Another one.
I can't tell you how many trades I take when you're getting a coffee.
Yeah, it moves when I get a coffee.
Imagine how far it would move if you made one for everyone.
I just have to open up a shop.
Haydos Cafe.
The Khalid candle.
I think we can even bring our stop loss to below low now, this low.
Yeah, you think if the one closes in 1 minute bullish like that, you'd expect that resistance to break. Oh, come on, that last 10 seconds not very nice for it.
You're looking for 15 close.
Or 5 minute closing bullish, but the 15 minute will be closing as well. 15 minute will be closing bearish actually. So 15 minute closing bearish, it could do easy wick fill, but hasn't taken out this doji high or low yet on the 15. There you go, 5 minutes fighting back.
The 5 minutes, the 10 EMA is holding pretty strong. Has been for this whole move down. It's wicked above it a few times, but can't really establish above it.
Yeah. Interesting though, it's rejecting from the bottom though.
True. Making higher rejections.
Hey, Terry's here. I just saying. You still in France? Alright, 5 minute close bullish. Well, if it's breaking this wick is an issue. This line is an issue as well. I'm going to draw. That's a 15-minute doji. Okay. New 15 minutes. Create a bit of a bottom wick. See if it can break its own high now. Creating this like little wedge thing here. All right, 3 minute as well. Can he just break these highs? Then it can clear the path for some upside. Little gap up. See that? I clear this candle now, that line as well, that first line. I'll clear that one. All right. Broke the high. Just lost while trading gold. Hey, Mohammed. What's happening with gold price? What is the gold price right now?
It's doing similar. It's doing a bit of consolidation.
Gold's awful for London lately.
It's only moved 25 pips.
Yeah, I literally don't even look at it now.
I was long in it, but it's doing alright, just slow.
Yeah, for London, I barely look at it. It's moved $1.70 from the open. Look at this trash, man. That's the usual. The usual for London Opens. It moves much better in New York. Something to backtest for you guys for New York for gold though. That's really good. Doesn't happen every day, but when it's very, very high chance that it does work. But when this is the time it didn't work though. But when you have like a stronger London session, look for price to reconnect the New York sessions. So often it'll do it. Or if it doesn't do it, if it misses one day, it'll usually reconnect the next day. So like what I'll do is I'll remove price just to give yourselves a bit of an idea. So let me hide price. Yeah, I've hidden price. And now I'm going to hide the other sessions. I'm going to keep just New York session on. So you just look for the green boxes. Okay, so these green boxes is the New York range, the high and low. And you'll see like how often they are that each one of these green boxes has an overlap. So what will happen is like what I'm saying in backtest is like, say for something like, say this green box pushed down, and then say that London opened and then just pushed down, and say New York is opening at this point, more than likely you're going to find price push back up to reconnect into either the high or low of the previous New York session. Obviously, it's not there every day, but when it is there, there's, I think it only maybe, can't remember, what was it, like 8 times in the last, maybe 10 times in the last year and a half that it didn't work out. 10 times in the last year and a half that it didn't reconnect at some stage. So if price is pushing down heavily and New York low, this was like the New York low, and then Asian session did something like that, and then London pushed down, and then the next New York day, the next New York open was, say, like, you know, let's say we're $5 to $10 lower than the previous low or higher than the previous high, then I'd have a bullish bias for the New York session to reconnect with the previous New York high or low. That's usually
in the high, mate.
Yeah, I saw that on the side. That's usually a really good, really good strategy. Good for your daily bias for New York session, because you're using that London information. All right. Beautiful.
GA's having a big pullback too.
Yeah. I 30 pips. I was up 250, about 258 pips at one stage. When I closed, I closed basically everything now at when I was at about 250 pips. I'm just leaving 0.01 just to see where it's going to go now.
Oh shit.
So this is looking good. Looking like we're coming back up for the London high.
Could be some potential nice entries if it pulls down to 15,730.
15,730. You mean now to do the old trend reversal pattern? So it is reacting off of this little bit, and just did that little that nasty wick from these guys, these bodies. Because that's structure there. That's your second structure on the 1 minute. 3 minutes, sorry, 3 minute second structure. This is your first structure here. Very wide, ugly structure. But this is your second structure because price is pushed down. It's doing up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Oh, what happened? Computer having a meltdown. Oh, wait. I forgot to check something. Okay. Yeah. So from this, remember this is this purple zone down the bottom was the 4 hour, 2 hour, might have been 3 hour even, but this is the liquidity wick. We saw yesterday how powerful the 3 hour one up here was. The wick. Now it's formed rejection wick, rejection wick, rejection wick. So when you see a pair of these where the wick rejection wick is in the same area as the other wick, generally, not always, usually but not always, resistance will break. So we saw price pushed up from this area where it was creating the support. Here was the closest resistance. That resistance didn't close above it, but it pushed through it into the next level of resistance. So that's generally, you know, it's pretty reliable. And it moved from like these areas up to here. You're talking about 40 pips. That's, you know, you can just aim for that. Aim between 40-50 pip move a day, German will usually give it to you. Now, did you take it, or did you did you hit the 50 pip stop loss? That's the thing.
I entered and closed up there. Sorry, that's a terrible drawing.
It's like a J kind of.
Yeah, I got in on that first bullish candle, wicked down, but then I got out. I scaled out up here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this looks
Still
good.
running now.
Looks good. Looks good. Because the thing is, like, if you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, where can price go to if it is giving rejections from the downside? And we're already pre-planned an area. You know, you've when price opened for London, it opened with inefficiency. So this zone was always going to be an area price would like to retest. Plus, it's the euro low as well. How many times have you pointed out that price will retest like an Asian high or low, even if it hasn't? Like in this case, it just cut straight through it. But often price, like look at yesterday, euro opened, went up, and then London came back down, retested Asian high. You still holding, Alan, as well? Cool. Good job, guys. Good job. So Jim, Alan, actually I'm assuming you're in there. Jim's in twice. Anyone else want to go over something that you've got going? Jim is GOAT. Anyone need a hand with anything? Any ideas? Doesn't have to be German or New York. Something we can have a look at. No wick on this candle. Price comes back to it.
Well, the price is not able to close above this high. Once price able to close above this high, that can be a good move to the upside. Price is still ranging in this range, not going anywhere.
Hey Eddie.
Not able to close above.
Yeah, that's a looks like a pretty substantial little pocket pre-London. Then the price just dropped. You're in gold short.
Yeah, nice.
Is it moving now, is it? Moved down 10. Another 12, 13. Oh, it's moving decent now. How did you get into this? Was this were you using the 50 EMA on this one?
30 flip.
Oh, 30 flip.
Resistance create and broke through support.
But you use the 50 though, don't you? A bit. Probably bounce and come back up in range. Jim, you're out. Yeah, apart from the initial really excitement, it kind of has just tracked along in this 40-50 pip range. 30 minute flip was it? What Glenn was saying. Published a new version of indicator a few days. Has negation patterns included. Nice work, Jim. Nice work. Good job. It's funny now, it's just Jim's indicator, we call it. Where is it on here? What? I keep losing things on here. Did that happen to you guys? I swear when I go... I'll load some things and then I must check on my phone and it mustn't save. And then it loads my... Then when I load on my phone... And it's constantly like battling between what's on my phone and what's on the computer. And it's never quite saving the template. It always seems to be, if I make a change here, it doesn't save. And then I look at the phone and then it saves. It just refreshes from the phone. Because I've removed this so many times without actually saving this template. I thought I had it on like save automatically, autosave. Anyway. So you're coding actually spectacles. Yeah. You guys are working well together. Hey, Marion. London will be slow because New York was bank holiday yesterday, therefore no solid direction. I thought this was no, I thought we had a good move. It's slow now, but I think from the get-go there was we've already moved a lot for the day. So from the day, this is the daily open right here. And from there, we've already moved 130 odd pips from the high to the low of the day. Now, we've got so much bearish pressure. I think there's a lot of volume here, but we've got so much bearish pressure pushing price down. But we're at a very, very strong area of like this 4-hour liquidity wick. So it feels like the price I feel like it's been a solid move, but it's compressing. Resistance retested at 1936.72, 130. Yeah. I've never seen this, but is it possible to have positive? Yeah. That's, definitely, Ivan. Definitely. My pound Aussie is a positive swap, only just. But every day, overnight, it was making a little bit of money. On gold, if you're selling gold, you make a ton. If you're buying gold, you pay a lot. So right now, because today's Tuesday. But on Pepperstone, every broker's different. Oh, yeah. Some brokers are very expensive. So, for swap fees. So what they do is they probably don't want you to hold trades overnight. And you just lose no matter what on the swap. They'll always add a 2.5% surcharge or something like that. But most brokers that don't add, you're not meant to add any markup to rollover to swap. It's just meant to be what the liquidity provider, depending on who they go through. But most of them, it should just be a straight pass. And when you've got like high interest rates in some areas, or the differential, you should be getting. There should be some classes that will give you a positive swap. That's called a carry trade. So it's nice to have a longer term outlook trade that is also a carry trade, because you don't even have to be moving in your direction for you to be making some positivity out of it. So it looks like I see this pattern a lot. 30-minute closes bearish with a long wick. Then we get a bearish candle sort of sandwiched between the next one. Usually then we get like a bit of a wick fill. So gold, for example, on Pepperstone, if I hold overnight, I will make basically you'd make $19 per lot every day. If you're holding it over on a Wednesday is, they basically treat Wednesday as the weekend. So if it's a Wednesday night, it'll be ×3. So just hold, if you had one lot open for a sell on gold, and Wednesday rolls over to the Thursday, you would make straight away $57 on that trade in swap fees. They do add like a little bit of a surcharge, so it's like if you had a buy and a sell open at the same time, they won't balance each other out, so you always lose more if you were hedged on it. If you had a long trade on gold right now, every day, this is for Aussie dollars, so US dollars would be a little bit different. If you held a trade overnight for gold going long, you would pay $33, or you'd be minus $33.70 per standard lot. So if you had one standard lot going overnight on a Wednesday, you'd be $100 in the hole.
Gold's broken that support. I don't know if it's going to close below it, but it's broken it.
Fingers crossed for Eddie.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
So for my pound Aussie trade overnight, that one was making $2.19 per standard lot. If I was selling, I'd be losing $10.60. So something like US Japan, because it's got the highest differential, or one of the highest differential, apart from gold, what you'd be doing on that one is you'd be making $12.60 for long trades, and you'd be losing $25.60 for sell trades. So it's based on the position, not if you're in profit. No, yeah, it's the position size. Because what you're doing essentially is you are, say you're going, say I'm buying pound Aussie. What I've done is what the broker has enabled me to do, like it's not actually like a physical loan or anything, but what you've done is, say I've made a trade for one standard lot. What I've done is I've bought 100,000 units of AUD, and I've converted it into 100,000 units equivalent of pound. And then when you roll over to the next day, you'll earn interest on both of the borrowings. So I'd be paying interest. So I'm making and paying interest. So because I've purchased 100,000 units of AUD, and with that 100,000 I've bought, let's call it 2 to 1, because it's almost 2 to 1. Let's say of 100,000 units of AUD, I've converted it to pound, so I've made 50,000. The equivalent is about 50,000 units of pound. Then when you go across the day, I'd be paying 100,000. I'd be paying interest on the borrow of AUD. So whatever the interest rate is set is 4.1%. I'd be paying 4.1% interest divided by 365 days of whatever I borrowed, but I'd be making 5.5% interest divided by 365 days of the money I've converted it to. And because I'm making more, pound's got a higher interest rate than AUD, I'd be making 1.4% positive, minus any fees that the broker passes on to you. And what I'm left with is a net amount, and that's your swap fee. Some other brokers will then go minus fees plus they'll add a surcharge. They're not meant to, but they might. So that's how you work out the carry trade. It's how much is your position size, not where it is on the chart. Can I share thoughts on GJ? Gosh, Marion, I haven't actually looked at GJ for a while. Glad you trade it though actively. Oh, holy, look at this.
I wasn't trading it today. I wish I would, but looking like that.
Yeah. All right, I mean, weekly's sort of going sideways a bit. I was thinking about whether I should get a little bit more into it again, but my hands are full with AUD. The thing that's sort of on my mind with pound yen is these Japanese fellas. They're a bit sneaky. They don't actually tell you when they're going to talk about anything. So let's see. From a price action point of view, if I'm just looking for price action, I'd be looking for zones first. First and foremost is just looking for zones. So I see a little doji over here. I see a area, like a little bit of a structure across here. So this could be, and price is ranged in here a little bit. So let's just recycle this one and just see what it does at the bottom. Because once we close inside a structure, we can, but the problem is it's gone, it's broken from the downside, broken from the upside. But I will just refine this area a little bit like that. Okay, 4 hours, we've got no wick candles, or barely any wicks, so the price might stall a little bit here. On the 1 hour, I just want to check to see which were my sessions. So this was Euro session, this was London session, this was the Asian session. Okay, so we've done a little, we did a little buy to sell, taking out New York, just about took out New York high. I do wonder why pound is pushing down like this against yen. Oh, German PMI's out. Came out as expected. So what's going on with any yen news? I have to go back to the Asian session to look for yen news. So I guess pound economy is struggling a bit. So the growth potential is not that high. We are in this like range right now. We're not really trending anywhere. So I'd only want to be looked to take extreme. So probably from this point of view, because we are in a range, I don't really, from a very quick analysis, clean candle up, clean candle down, I don't really see anything that I like particularly. But if this candle could close strong bearish, and then the next one, probably can, if you want to get a trade sooner, I'd look for a few of these candles have been pumping down. I'd like to wait for this something to slow down, preferably give me like a bit of a doji candle, or maybe even like a little bit of a bullish, tiny body bullish candle, and then look to, hopefully that this would be in some sort of point of interest, I don't mind. And then what I'd look to do is probably trade at the extremes of this candle, of this one that slowed down. I'd probably lean to buys because long term, we're more uptrend than downtrend. So I'd be leaning to pullback longs. But for now, because we're in the middle of this range, I would have to wait for this to slow down, and I'd trade from the extremes of the next candle. From a entry point of view, once we are getting a bit of a slowdown, I don't see a lot under here, but what I do see is that this is a rejection wick. This is a rejection wick. So this actually creates a nice little zone like that. I'll make this a red box for now. So this was a resistance that broke up, and now we've cut through it. So if we're going to continue this down trajectory, where could the next candle potentially wick up to? So potentially if it is closing nice and strong and bearish, and then we get like a little pause candle, I'd want to trade the extremes. So if price is breaking below and then rejecting, I could trade it back up to this red box. Or if it wicks straight up and we start to see price action, rejection wicks on lower time frame, I could use this resistance again to push price down, look to target maybe this Asian low. But because it's in a range, and because I haven't been following this for a long time, I would want to go through and pad out this chart a bit more with a bit more zones. But I would want to find out why, from the open, why we've been pushing down so much, because I haven't been keeping track fundamentally too close to this one. Does that help? Probably not too much, but it's. Yeah, tricky when it's inside of this area. It's a big range though. Jesus, it's like nearly 200 pips. I'm sure we can plan a trade closer to the end of a session for the next one. Like if we pushed down, and it's getting to New York session, and we're in a nice little support area, I'd look for New York to correct some of that move, because usually that's what happens. You have a big move in when you look for clean candles in London, and New York will take the high and then give you a little pullback. Clean candle in London took the low, gave you a pullback. Clean candles in London took the high. See how it takes the high? Takes the high and gives you pullback. Clean candles up, took the high, gave you pullback. No real clean candles here. Clean candles down, took the low, gave you the pullback. Thing you just got to try. It's more of a counter trend because you're countering what London did. Now the thing is just how low does it break? How low does it break down? But I'd be planning that. I'll be planning for the end of the session, timing it. Did I see clean candles? Yes. Okay. New York won't sell the low. Simple as that. Look from the break the low and then do a little bit of a pullback. That's for a New York style entry. Clean candles up, broke the high, gave that little pullback. Only a tiny pullback. Didn't really retrace any of the move, but it still gave a pullback. Probably wouldn't be able to get a trade in there. But you see more times than not, it works out. Clean candles. This time it took the high, dropped. Clean candles up, took the high, and then dropped. Dropped to the next little support. So there's 30 pips there. Yeah. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice when it, like more often than not, you see it works out. Obviously, there's nothing certain, but it's to try have a plan to start with. And then I think from just watching price as well, you get a feel for what you're looking for the day. And I think it's not that difficult. Well, it is difficult when you haven't got like a set system, but I don't think it's that difficult to try create idea by basic simple, like using clean candles. I think is a real nice one, because you're just looking for it to retrace some of the move, just because it's human nature that if I see something that's been dropping, I feel so funny about trying to like buy or sell something that I feel like, oh, it's not as cheap as it was before. Like I'd hate to buy pound Aussie up here. So if it moved all the way up to here and then I was coming to the charts, I'd prefer to be looking for a sell instead. And these guys will manipulate the session. Look at this drop, man. I'm glad I closed. Where are we at? German. So we did the wick fill now. So that's
Broke the low.
yeah. That's quite often what happens. 30-minute closes like this, and then you get a candle that does do the wick but closes bearish. Normally then you do the full wick fill. New York will make its way back up to hit this 1757. So on the 1 minutes, this area where it gave you the 1, 3, and 5 minute HCS thing. 1 minute here, 3 minutes. I think it had multiple. 5 minutes had multiple. And when you see that, you've got a resistance here. Resistance broke. Broke one resistance into the next resistance.
Yeah, if I wasn't in a long position there, I definitely would have been looking for a sell from that zone, the bottom of the euro move.
Yeah.
That's where I took profit instead of entering. And that was actually the better move, the push down.
Mm-hmm. Showing some restraint here. That's good. Good that you're not just like jumping into like every move, like planning that out a bit more, but sort of seeing, like, it's fine to see all the entries, but it's good to not execute on all of them as well, you know? I think that's really good. Saves your head as well, I think. Yeah, 1 minute. Close bearish, Wickfield. Sorry, when I say 1 minute, I meant 1 hour. 2 hour. Close bearish, Wickfield. So going with the momentum. It's a tough area though, this one. Just to break through too easy because of the 4 hour. It's that 4 hour wick. And lately, the 50% mark has been gold. So this is another 30 pip push. Very nice. Well, I think it was a nice session in general. It slowed down, that's for sure. But it was nice having that early volatility coming from China. Chinese news, Chinese PMI, and the Aussie interest rates gave a lot of volume. So we had a lot of volume for just looking for a quick move in the first open. Normally I don't like, as you guys know, I don't like normally taking those kind of trades. But when the conditions are right and there's volume, this is the time not to be a contrarian. Just go with it. I think pound, what it's going to do is going to regroup and then it's going to go again. For pound Aussie.
Wow, what a pullback.
Yeah. I think it will regroup and go again. That's what it did over...
Just retraced by full news. Oh no, it's before news.
This one here. So price pushed up and then didn't push up as strong. Yeah, it didn't push up as strong. Well, I mean the Asian session did, but I'm looking at like the Euro and London. And then what it did is it pushed up strong, regrouped, and then went long for New York. I think New York's going to, because we had the bank holiday yesterday, over there, I think there's going to be quite a bit of buying and selling going on. So I could see it pull back all the way and then go again. What's going to happen is in 2 weeks' time, the focus is going to shift to the pound interest rates going up, and that's really going to send us back up the 2-to-1. When pound, as soon as they start talking about, I mean, if news comes out and they start saying that, do we have pound CPI first? Will that come after? I think it comes after. Okay, we've got, today was cash rate. That could give it a bit of a boost. Aussie GDP. Unemployment shouldn't change things. I mean, if unemployment throws up a massive number and pound GDP gives a poor number, what were they forecasting? So last time they had growth. So it's very likely they're going to have a poor number. Oh, no, sorry. That was this right column is what what the last result was. So economists will give a forecast. Now they can manipulate this number as well. If they say, well, we forecast 0.4% growth, what do you think's likely to happen? If they forecast 0.4, what do you think actual will more than likely be? Come on, that was a question. If they come up and they say, we forecast that we're going to have 0.4% positive growth, what do you think the probability is for actual? No, this is what they forecast. What do you think the chances are of actual being that?
I think the chances are pretty slim.
Yeah, because you look at all the last time.
Yeah, negatives. Yeah.
And interest rates are just making it harder and harder to grow as well.
Yeah.
So what will probably happen, I mean, for that to be 0.5, because it's a year-on-year thing as well. Oh no, sorry, it's month-on-month. My bad. I was gonna say if it was a year-on-year, like from the last one rolls out, you see the last one that was August was a minus 0.6. So sometimes when there's a large drop 12 months prior, then you can see a bit of the calculations can bump it up a bit higher. But given all these previous ones, they've hit above 0.4 once, twice in the last 12 months. So if they come out and say, this is how it can be manipulated, right? If they say forecast is 0.2 and they beat it and get 0.3, then you'd expect this to be, oh, this is great numbers for pound. But if they bring it out at if actual 0.3, but they forecast 0.4, people are going to say, oh, bad numbers. So it really depends on what the economists say. And if the group of economists that look through this preliminary stats, when they're trying to predict what it's going to be, they have a bit of a sway of making some comments, and then price will start pricing in that value as soon as it comes out, and then it will obviously change when the actual comes out. So it really depends on what is forecast for where price might go from here. But this obviously, either way, this will be a bit of a catalyst. So if this comes out as a negative number, regardless of what they forecast, if it comes out as a negative number and unemployment comes out as a positive number. So say, let's just use the previous actual numbers. If we have, say, plus 35,000 filing for unemployment, and we have negative growth, which is a good chance we have negative growth in this month, what that might do then is be below trend growth for UK, and maybe they'll say we don't need to raise rates right now because we want to have a soft landing. We don't really want to have too much of a recession, and there's a lot of recession talk right now. So maybe that will give the Bank of England in the next week, maybe it will be signaling to them to not hike interest rates. So if that's the case, I don't think we'll see pound rise too much. Okay. Then we've got Aussie unemployment, so that'll give it a kick because that's the other side of the pound Aussie trade. Oh, then we do have CPI. This is the major one. This will be the major one. So one day before, if this number comes out and it's actually dropped a lot lower than expected, then I would say they're going to hold interest rates. And then in that case, I would say that pound Aussie, because right now, if we rise up in New York session, they're going to be pricing in at the moment a quarter point hike. They'll be pricing in a hike, so they'll be pushing up. Then if we start getting signals that the economy is really struggling, then when the news comes out, price will come back down, and we'll probably stay between this 1.92 to 2.00. I know it's a big range, but there's a lot of key factors in between here. But I'd say we stay between this if they decide to hold. If they hike, I would say that we're going to break above that too. Yeah. So we'll get that information throughout the month as we go. So this will lead to me when I'm looking at swing trades. I'll be keeping an eye on that. I'm not really too worried about the price I get in necessarily. Yeah, if they go up too much more, it's going to create a real problem. But they are saying, that they need inflation to come down. It's struggling, sticky as. It's the worst of them all in terms of inflation. So you think they're going to have the highest of them all in terms of interest rates. And at the moment, I think they're equal. I think Bank of England is interest rates is 5.5. 5.25, sorry. And then you've got the Fed is 5.5. So are you trading US 30 today? Now?
Yeah.
Look at this move, man. Look at this crazy move yesterday. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Did you get that bounce off the bottom, Sarah?
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
on you.
After the New York low yesterday?
Yeah, I just saw that rejection. I thought I'd take it.
Very nice. Very nice. Cool. Alrighty. Well, oh, look at gold now. Now it's still going. Took out New York low. Eddie got it.
Look at the candle bar to the left.
Yeah, it's like a hot dog. Something you put in a bread roll. Cool. Alrighty. Well, I am going to go. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for watching YouTube. If you haven't joined or liked the video, please give it a like. Really helps. Actually, it helps a lot. I've seen it's been trending in viewership and views a lot more higher. It's been good. All right. Well, on that, I shall see you guys tomorrow morning, yeah? Bright and early.
Right, tomorrow.
So I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Bye now.
Bye.
Thank you and bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eden.